how's it going? I mostly make art videos, but lately on the channel we've been exploring different types of videos, so I thought I'd give book reviewing a go. I use Goodreads to track my books, so I do the Goodreads reading challenge. For the past few years I've set it at 50 books, and I have scraped it by the skin of my teeth. Like seriously, reading up until midnight on New Year's Eve, like. I occasionally write reviews on Goodreads, but most of the time I don't, because I just can't get the words to come out while I'm writing, and I'm just not so much with the writing. Apparently I'm not so much with the talking either. But anyway, these are my personal highlights from 2018. Every year you gotta read your classics. This year I reread Wuthering Heights. Not this actual copy, because I got this copy for Christmas from someone in my book club. Isn't it nice? I'm pretty sure I'm the first person to ever say this, but Wuthering Heights is a really good book. It's a classic, it's one of my all-time favourites. From start to finish you are like immersed, atmospheric as balls. Another classic I read was Frankenstein. Again, not this copy, because I got this copy for Christmas, but I enjoyed it so much. It's one of those books that you read and you're like, I can't believe I didn't know it was this good. Except for the fact that I feel like the point of the book wasn't to sympathise with Frankenstein's monster, but I did. He was the real victim in all of it. I think we should start up a foundation to help him. God bless Frankenstein's monster. A slightly more modern classic, and one of my last reads of the year, was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. It took me a really long time to get into it because it just throws you the hell in. Like, it starts off telling you, this is what's happening, this is the world. I was like, who are we following, where are we going, what's going on? But I stuck with it, and a few chapters in then I got really into it. There were bits that I thought were purposefully made difficult to read, like jumping between scenes. I don't know how jarring anybody else found it, but I found it that was just purposefully difficult, Aldous. A couple of more modern classics that I read were this not very well known book called The Handmaid's Tale. I'm pretty sure I discovered it. I really enjoyed this book. I had mixed feelings when the book ended because I liked that it felt like it ended in a way different from a lot of other dystopia, but also I was dying to know more. But lucky us, she's apparently writing a sequel, so we'll know more. Probably a bit risky having a sequel come out this long after the original, but I'm still looking forward to it. Moving on, The Last Wilderness by Neil Ansell. I found this whole book to be just so friggin' immersive and so nice to read throughout. As somebody who loves nature and likes going walking in the middle of nowhere myself, it just made me want to put my shoes on and run out into it. The point he tries to make through it is that there's hardly any true wilderness left, and he's going in search of it. And you know, as he's getting older and his senses are dimming, he's trying to search for this true solitude, I suppose. But it's very lovely, and there are some quotes from it that really resonated with me. When I put over a drawing of some trees I did, it says, "The natural world has not been placed here for my benefit. It is not here to teach us life lessons, but exists always and only for itself." Preach it. The last two I'm going to mention, they're not of the same genre, but I'm going to lump them in together anyway because I want to. So first, we've got The Anthology of Amazing Women. Oh, it smells good. Incredibly inspiring book, beautifully illustrated by my friend from college, Nathan. Nathan Collins, you talented bitch. I think this would be a really good book for anyone who has kids. It's just really encouraging and inspiring. I don't have the physical book because I lent it to my mother, but it's A Treasury of British Folklore, Maples, Mandrakes and Mistletoe by D.D. Cheney. I thought it was really nice. It reminded me a lot of the Mabinogion, the collection of Welsh folk tales, which I suppose is a big fat duh. Of course it reminded you of that, but that's only a good thing. Love both. Love them all. It's really just like a quick sweep over all the different types of folklore. So it doesn't really go in depth, but I mean, if you're covering such a large surface area, you can't really go that in depth. So let's forget, and appreciate it for what it is, which is a nice summary. Again, I don't have the actual copy because I think it's at my sister's house, but it's Methis by Stephen Fry. I think this was the first book I read this year, but I can't remember. Again, I really enjoyed this just because it was such a straightforward telling of the myths. I'm pretty interested in Greek mythology, but sometimes it can be a bit tedious to read it. But he tells it all in a way that's just quick, digestible, straightforward story, which if you've ever read any Greek myths, you know is difficult because they're a jumble Also Stephen Fry for Prime Minister. Like I said, I'm not a book reviewer, I don't usually do this. I'm not sure if I'll keep this up, but it was fun. I've just realised that I forgot to mention like all of those author names. Many of them probably don't need introducing, but Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte, Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, Handmaid's Tale, Margaret Atwood, Last Wilderness, Neil Ansell, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley, Anthology of Amazing Women, Sandra Lawrence, illustrated by Nathan Collins, Methis, Stephen Fry, Treasury of British Folklore, D.D. Cheney. Get all those author names out. So check out my other videos if you fancy it. You can subscribe if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, because your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance then they're no friends of mine.